Not gonna believe this shit, but I'm going over this new fucking shit here. It says Jennifer Soto's new police interview audio and immunity. Disturbing case. Listen, in this interview, okay, because I'm just getting started with it. So far, Jennifer Soto is now in the room with the detectives again. And this is after Stephen has been arrested. He's in jail at this point. So they already have a whole lot of information. Don't y'all know that this girl done went and got an attorney now? She has an attorney now. She didn't have an attorney before when she was being questioned. But now Stephen is arrested. She goes and gets an attorney. And one of the first things that the attorney says is, we want to make sure that nothing she said before this interview will be used against her. Because Jenn Soto is making the claim that during this time she was under a bunch of stress and duress about her child being missing. So this right here, in my opinion, is Jenn Soto's attempt to be excused from the things that she said. She wants to be excused from the stuff that she said before because she knows she has inconsistencies at this point. The attorney is talking about how, so many people have basically been saying how she needs to be prosecuted and all this other stuff. The attorney wants to make sure that nothing she said before the interview that's going on right now will come into play. So the detectives had to agree that even though she had inconsistencies with the previous interviews, all of the fucking previous interviews, the detectives are agreeing she cannot be held accountable. They will not hold her accountable for what she said before because her mind was discombobulated. So given that she now understands that they will not hold what she said previously against her, she's now free to tell the story the way she knows now. She's free to give a current account of what she knows. And trust me, some shit gonna change. I am telling you, because I ain't even got all the way into this interview yet. But some stuff already done changed. So I'm gonna take y'all back to when she starts talking.
Stress being that her child was missing and then she was informed was found
with a
gun, and obviously there's no gun in this case, buried in your attorney's yard. We couldn't go dig up that gun if he told us that, oh yeah, there's the gun that was used is right there. We wouldn't be able to do that. We would have to show that we learned all those things independently from this interview. Okay? Do you have any questions? All right, so let's get started.
Before you start, let me just make sure we're clear on the record. Off the record, we had discussed our position on the concerns we have. Ms. Soto was interrogated by law enforcement previously. She was under a tremendous amount of duress and stress, being that her child was missing and then she was informed was found deceased. There's been media hysteria about this. There's been people asking for her to be prosecuted.
You damn right.
And so with that said, we have the concern that she brought up about if there's something said inconsistent today, not being used against her for filing a false police report.
All right, so for example, if she said something that
y'all heard the attorney, right? She don't want to get in trouble for giving a false police report. And she chopped that up to her mind being discombobulated because her baby was missing. That's why her story kept changing. So she's making sure that she has immunity from that before she starts talking. Cause she knows she fucking lied.
False then. And we have no idea that it was false now before this interview, but she comes in and admits that it was false today. We can't use these statements or that admission that it was false against her, just like we couldn't use anything else against her from this interview.
Okay.
Okay? All right. My understanding is that on February 25th of this year, you were working at the hotel on Disney property out at Coronado Springs. You know,
You have to answer
out loud and loud enough to get coffee before. I know you're upset. I know.
Yes.
All right. And did you get off at 10 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. Did you go direct?
Okay, that's something that has changed. That's a time that has changed. Since the previous interviews, that is a time that has changed. She's now saying that she got off work at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m.
Directly home?
Yes.
About how long does it take you to get home?
About 25 to 30 minutes.
And when you get home, who is downstairs, if anybody? You have a two-story, is it a townhome? Is that the best word for it?
Yes.
If anybody is downstairs, who is downstairs?
I saw my daughter Madeline and Stefan.
Do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
No.
How interesting is that? That now she's saying she don't remember what Madeline had on. And even though now she has immunity from what she said before she told police, never mind.
And do you recall what Stefan was wearing?
I can't tell you.
Okay. When you get home from work, you need to kind of eat a late dinner before you get settled in for bed?
Yes.
And do you eat there at your home?
Yes.
What do you eat?
I think I had a pub sub waiting for me in the house sandwich.
Okay. Did anybody join you in sitting down and eating?
No, I ate in my bedroom.
Okay. Did it look like anybody else had recently cooked food or eaten any food there that night?
From what I saw, no. I didn't see anyone or it didn't look like anyone.
Okay. I believe in one of your former interviews, you mentioned that Madeline might have gone over with you kind of what she got at the birthday party since you didn't have the chance to go because you were at work.
Mm-hmm.
When and where does that occur?
That occurs like right after I get home. It occurs in my bedroom. Everyone's in my room.
And so by everyone, let's just be clear since I understand you have some roommates.
Yeah, let's be clear.
So what do you mean by everyone?
Madeline, Stefan, and myself were in my bedroom.
Okay. At this point in time, do you recall what Madeline was wearing?
I don't know.
Let me ask it a different way. Can you tell me whether or not she was wearing a long-sleeved green sweatshirt and jeans?
Oh, no.
Okay. Would she have kind of been in her bed
You
gear?
can't remember what she was wearing, but you can tell that she wasn't wearing that. You know she wasn't wearing that when she went to bed. You knew she wasn't wearing that when she was in your room.
Or do you think she could have still been in the dress that she wore to her birthday celebration?
She would have been in pajamas. I can't recall the exact pajamas.
You just told police that you didn't know what she was wearing. Now you're saying she would have been in pajamas, but I can't recall which pajamas she was in.
She would have been in pajamas. She had already, by this point in the evening, she had already showered and changed out of that birthday dress.
And was it your understanding from your sister that she had gotten dropped off about 8:30, she being Madeline?
8:30, 8:45, something around that time, yeah.
Damn, you ain't showing that no more. Because before you said...
And what's your understanding as to when Stefan had gotten there? If you know. If you don't guess, it's fine.
Actually, while he's saying that, this is important. So there's things that you might think should be a certain way, because that's just the way things go. But don't just guess based on past history that it's the same as what happened on that particular day. If you don't know, you don't know.
Then, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what time he got there.
What? So before you were sure when he got there, even before you wasn't fucking sure, you told police before that Stefan got there a little bit after 9. Excuse me, a little bit after 8:30. I'm not sure what time he got there, but I think it was a little bit after that. And then in a different interview, you told them you wasn't sure if Stefan got there on Saturday night or Sunday morning. Now you're saying you don't know when he got there.
Okay. You were at work, so I just didn't know if, like, sometimes families check in, hey, I made it, by text or by phone call or anything like that. Do you not remember any of that?
I don't remember.
Okay. How long were the three of you in your bedroom?
I'm going to say for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did Madeline tell you about the party?
She was really happy.
Did she tell you what food they had there at the party?
Yeah, she had her favorites.
What are her favorites?
Puerto Rican food. So I just want to do this.
All right, so you're gonna have to translate to English. I know frijoles and arroz and a couple other things, but help me out.
If I recall correctly, she had requested rice. It's a type of rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
It's rice with pigeon peas.
Okay.
And beni, which is, I'm not sure how to. It's a pork, but I'm not sure how they cook it.
Okay.
So cooked pork. That's typically what she requests for her parties. That's like her favorite meal.
Okay. And what kind of gifts did she get?
She got a lot of money.
Okay.
That's what she ended up showing me. I think she had a few trinkets, but like most of it was just a big
You
watch.
told police that she was showing you all her gifts. You told police that Maddie was showing you all her gifts. You said nothing about money. Now you're saying it's mostly money and a few trinkets.
A lot of money that she was so excited for.
All right. Is there any particular reason Stefan couldn't make it up to the party? Because it's my understanding he didn't exactly work or anything.
He wouldn't have been invited. The party was held at my mom's house, and my mom and him have never had a great relationship. She's never liked him. So he wouldn't have been invited to the party at all. It just would have been my whole family, and then me if I had worked.
Oh. So the family or the mother didn't care for Stefan. So Jen is saying he would not have been invited anyway because the mother didn't care for Stefan. And I wonder why. So that's why Stefan wasn't at the party.
Okay. Now, during this 30 minutes that the three of you are in your bedroom, is Madeline engaging in any of her kind of nighttime routine or, getting ready for bed? What else is going on, if anything?
We spent a long time talking about gifts and having her show me, and then we counted out her money. I can't remember if she had finished with all of her bedtime routine.
Okay. Does she brush her teeth at night?
In the shower.
In the shower? Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that occurred before you got home?
Yeah.
And my understanding with her nighttime medication is that's something that you would like to make sure she had bedtime or so?
Something like that, yeah.
So were you present for that occurring, or did that occur after you got home?
That did not occur on my call. I believe I had instructed Maddie when she got home to go ahead and take them herself.
Okay.
Huh? There's no way of us proving that she said that to Maddie. And we all know why now.
Okay. And is that something that she's allowed to do?
From time to time, yeah.
When you say they, is there what my understanding was there was some hydroxyzine? Is there anything else she takes at night?
Just hydroxyzine.
All right. And the Miralax is when?
Miralax is...
So that would have been earlier while you were at work too if she took it?
Yeah.
May not have because she was at the party?
Yeah, because I had been training at work that week and we had been going back and forth with my mom's a lot, the Miralax wasn't consistent.
Okay. All right. Now, Madeline, does she lay out her clothes for school the next day, or is that something she gets in the morning, makes a game time decision like my kid?
Typically, it is a game time decision morning of.
Okay. What about this specific evening? Do you remember anything about it?
Yes. This evening, we had, I had already discussed prior to Stefan coming to visit that he was going to help me take Maddie to school that day. So because I knew that was what was going to happen that night, I had asked Maddie, pick out your clothes, have everything ready, have your backpack ready, your water bottle, everything you need ready so that way you could just grab your stuff and head out. It won't be too much of a hassle in the morning. And so she did. She picked out her clothing. I asked her what she was wearing, and she told me what she had picked out. And so
We got none of this information in the beginning. We got none of this fucking information in the beginning. So you're telling me You can't remember what your daughter was wearing that night. But you can remember having this conversation with her that night. You said none of this. You mentioned none of this in any of the previous interviews. She mentioned none of this. None of this. That she told Maddie to have all her stuff ready to go in the morning. What? She mentioned none of this. Is this her way of recalling how she knew what Maddie was wearing? Because that's what I'm getting. She has to have a way of explaining how she knew what Maddie was wearing. And this is her explanation. Now. We're getting this now. We didn't get this before. We're getting this now. And this is coming from the same person who can't tell us what Maddie was wearing when she got home from work. But she can tell us about this whole conversation that she didn't tell us before.
All right, so she picks it out, but does she physically take it out of somewhere, wherever she stored the clothes, and put it somewhere?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she took that clothes upstairs with her or anything like that.
All right. So as far you didn't see them in your room, and did you have the opportunity to kind of see her cubby part of the living room to see if she put them on her bed or anything like that?
I hadn't seen them.
Does Madeline have like a water bottle or a hydro flask or whatever the kids call it that she likes to sleep with and bring up or bring wherever she's sleeping?
Typically not. That stays downstairs in her backpack, and then she'll clean it in the morning and then fill it back up and leave it in her backpack. That typically stays in the backpack.
Okay. Favorite stuffed animal or stuffed animals? Anything that always goes with her wherever she's sleeping?
She does have a few stuffies and blankies. Did I see any that day?
Yeah, specifically, did you see if she brought any of that stuff upstairs with her?
No, I didn't see any of that stuff upstairs.
Now, a separate question. Generally, habitually, like your attorney was saying, there's a difference between specific memory. But generally, would she do that? Not saying that you saw it that night.
Generally, would she do what? Bring her?
Have stuffies and blankets and her favorite stuff.
Yes, she typically would.
So if Stefan says something like Maddie's building her nest and getting settled in, would that to you mean like her stuff is part of this nest, or what do you think that would mean, if you know?
I'm not sure.
What?
Okay.
So you don't know what the fuck that means. But the police have it on record that Stefan texts you exactly that. She's building her nest and getting settled in. You don't know what that means? You said okay. Hell no.
Okay. Do you recall getting that text from Stefan that night, that Maddie had settled into her nest for the night?
I don't remember the text now.
Okay. My understanding was that at some point you told them it was time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Do you recall about what time that was?
Around 11 o'clock.
So that's consistent with getting home at 10:30, having this half-hour discussion, and eating your pub sub? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Ho. No, hold on. Because I got to go back and make sure I heard that right. I got to go back and make sure I heard that right.
Remember the text now.
Okay. My understanding was that at some point you told them it was time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Do you recall about what time that was?
Around 11 o'clock.
So that's consistent with getting home at 10:30, having this half-hour discussion, and eating your pub sub? Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right.
Remember, the detective just said that's consistent with getting home at 10:30, even though she just said she got home at 10. That's consistent with getting home at 10:30 and then having a half an hour discussion. So this would have been the time that Maddie was telling her about her birthday party. And she was counting money, supposedly. And then Maddie had to get her stuff together for school the next morning. So all of this happened in a 30-minute time span. Because she just said she sent them to bed at 11. That she's still saying.
Comply with your wishes to go upstairs when you say that at about 11 o'clock.
Yes, they do.
Is there any further communication between either you and Madeline or you and Stefan about, all right, kids, it's time to go to bed, anything like that? Or was that the last you had heard from either one of them that night.
I think at some point Stefan comes downstairs to use the restroom and then goes back upstairs, but after that I don't recall interacting or saying anything.
Bam! That's a lie. That right there was a straight out lie. That was a lie. The police can hem her up right there because she said she don't remember having any more conversation. She don't remember having any more conversation. She said she thinks Stefan came downstairs to use the bathroom, but she don't remember, and she thinks she's slick by saying that. She don't remember having any more correspondence with them. It's funny because there's a text from Jenn Soto's phone at 23:39. There is a text from Jenn Soto to Stefan that said, make sure Maddie gets to bed now. She's lying. She don't remember, but the police can hem her up just on that. Already. She don't remember that. You're saying you don't remember that. You just said maybe Stefan came downstairs. That's all you can think of. Okay.
And my understanding is that you had some sort of parental controls over Maddie's phone. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure by parental controls exactly. I didn't have.
Is anybody else getting frustrated at this bitch having to analyze every fucking question before she answers it? This is something you don't have to do if you're telling the truth. You don't scrutinize every fucking question before you answer it. The way Jenn Soto is doing right now.
Have any limits or anything on the phone set up.
Well, like for instance, if she wanted to install Game Pigeon, does that have to go through you?
Yeah. So any permissions for any apps she would have to ask me for.
All right, and does that ring a bell as to occurring that Sunday? Game Pigeon?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay. All right. So that's the last time you hear from either one of them until the morning. My understanding is that Stefan comes down and is dealing with your dog. Is there any communication other than perhaps Stefan coming down to use the restroom? Is there any other communication that you have between Stefan and Maddie? Do you see them? Now I've said communicate. Do you see them? Do you go up and check on them? Do you see Madeline or Stefan from the point you kick them out at 11 p.m. until you see Stefan at 8 in the morning-ish is what you guess for the dog?
Yeah. No, I didn't see them.
Okay. Now, when you go to sleep, do you sleep through the night, or do you wake up and not have consistent good sleep?
I sleep through the night.
Okay. Nope, not right now.
So there wouldn't be any points in time where you get up and you're taking steps or just checking on your phone because you can't go back to sleep? As far as you remember, when you go to sleep, you're out until the dog thing in the morning.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you hear or see anything during those hours involving Stefan or Madeline?
I didn't hear or see anything.
Got her again. On the same thing that I just told y'all. Got her again. She said she doesn't usually wake up after she falls asleep. She's pretty much out for the night. She says she doesn't hear or see anything after she sends them to bed. Okay? Then how the hell are you texting Stefan after 11 o'clock?
Okay. All right. What's the first thing you remember when you wake up after having gone to sleep?
I wake up to Stefan trying to put the leash on the dog.
Okay. Now, is this the first time that you've ever woken up to Stefan trying to put a leash on your dog, or is that something that has occurred before in the past?
I'm going to say this is the first time.
I bet she would say that. This is the first time. Now, what's so significant about this time than all the other times? Because Jenn Soto, in the report that I've seen, Jenn Soto said, one of the roommates said that After Jenn Soto takes her medicine, she's out. It's hard to wake her up. Okay. All right, let's finish.
So were you not laying down when he tells you to go back and lay down?
No, when he put the leash on the dog, I shot off the bed because I was gonna help him. I was like, no, let me do it. And he's like, no, go back to sleep. I'm fine. I got this.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Now, do you go back to sleep, or do you check your phone or do anything?
I think I go back to sleep. I can't look at anything.
In this period of time that you have been awoken by Stefan, do you hear or see anybody else in your household?
I hear somebody in the kitchen. I'm not sure who it was.
Okay. Could you identify it by size, like their steps? Could you identify gender by their voice? Anything like that?
All I heard was sounds of like cabinets shutting, like somebody in there shutting, like looking for something and shutting.
Okay. Now, if your daughter had been awake, would she come in and say goodbye to you before school, or not? Just let you sleep?
I would have hoped she would have come by and say goodbye to me.
What? In one of the written reports before this date, that she now has immunity from being used against her, Jenn Soto told the police that every morning she makes sure that Madeline takes her medicine. Now, the detective just asked her if Maddie would come in to her room at all to say goodbye or anything. And Jenn Soto said, I would have hoped she'd come by to say goodbye to me.
I can't remember if this is one of the first times that Stefan actually took her to school, so I would have hoped she would have said good night, but I'm not sure.
All right, so do you...
How do you not know that? How do you not know that? This is your daughter. You're the one who takes her to school most of the time. Do you not pay attention to your daughter when you get ready to take her to school? You don't know what the morning routine is like when your daughter is preparing to go to school. You don't know. Why can't Jenn answer this question? If she's the one who takes this baby to school most of the time.
Fall back asleep?
I do.
And when do you wake up, and how do you wake up?
I wake up at like 9 o'clock in the morning to my alarm. Yeah, I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning to my alarm. I get ready, I think at around 9:30, 9:45, I leave for my doctor's appointment.
Okay. So in this period of time from when you're waking up and getting ready, do you see anybody else in your home?
At this point, I'm not too sure. I know throughout the day I've seen my roommate in the kitchen cooking and doing her thing, but I don't recall if it was at this time.
Did you see your daughter this morning on the 26th?
No.
Did you have any texts or phone calls or any other type of communication through any possible app on your phone? Like, hey mom, love you at school, whatever. Any communications from Madeline? All right. How about from Stefan by the time that you wake up at 9? Any texts or communication from him? Maddie's dropped, I'm off to the game store, or whatever he's doing?
No. I didn't hear back from Stefan until 10:20ish. And
now this time has changed too. This time has changed too. Now she's saying she didn't hear from him again until 10:20ish. Before she said he had called her around 10:18 because at this time she would have been at her appointment. So now she's saying 10:20ish.
He had told me he left his phone at home that whole morning by accident. And I had asked him how the morning went. How was Maddie?
Now, before, she also said that Stefan told her that he had left his phone at the house. She did not mention that Maddie left her phone at the house at this time. The first time, or this time, it appears that he did not mention that Maddie left her phone. He said he left his.
And he let me know that this morning went great. We made great time. She got busy super quick. He was going to take her to McDonald's for breakfast, but she changed her mind. All she wanted to do was sleep in the car, so he let her sleep. He took her to school and dropped her off, or he said he dropped her off, and that was it.
At no point in time does she say that Stefan told her that Maddie left her phone at the house during this time. This is 10:20-ish. But according to Stefan, he saw Madeline rummaging through her backpack. He later realized that she might have been looking for her phone.
And you had a 10:15 appointment for a blood draw?
Yes.
And did you go anywhere else prior to getting to your appointment for the blood draw? Did you go directly there or not directly there? That's basically the question.
Oh, I went directly there.
All right. And after your blood draw, did you go directly back home?
Yes.
About what time did you get home?
Sometime between 11:15 and 11:30.
Did you have any?
The time has changed again in this situation. Before she said, before that she now has immunity from. Before she said 11 and 11:15. Now she's saying 11:15 and 11:30.
Any other appointments or doctor's appointments later in the day?
I was supposed to have had one, but I canceled it
When did you cancel it?
that same day.
We didn't know this. We didn't know this until now. That she had another fucking appointment that day and she canceled it. She canceled it the same day it was. That's very interesting. Because we didn't know that before now. This is some new information that she's given. So in the same day that she has this 10:15 appointment for some blood to be drawn, she had another appointment in the same day she canceled. Interesting. Very interesting.
Why did you cancel it?
Because it was a $350 Botox appointment that I didn't want to spend money on. I changed my mind last second.
When you get home from your blood draw appointment, is there anybody else at your home?
When I get home from blood draw, yes, Stefan was home.
All right. And can you describe what he's wearing, what he's doing, his demeanor, what's going on?
Oh my gosh. Y'all see Maddie's shoe? Y'all see Maddie's crock right here? This is in Jenn Soto's bedroom. Look at her crock. This was in Jenn Soto's bedroom. Oh, wow.
I can't recall what he's wearing. It might be a red shirt with graphic on it.
Okay.
He's sitting in my bedroom on my desk.
Mind you, she's talking about when she got back from this appointment at 11:15 to 11:30. She's saying that Stefan was sitting in her room at her computer.
prior to you getting there, he's in your room? Or is that when you guys go to talk?
He was hanging out there in my room.
Okay.
My room is kind of like the general hangout spot.
Okay.
I walk into my room. He's sitting there on the computer chair. He's talking, acting normal, asking about the morning and how everything went, and that he let me know the errands that he ran that morning or what he was up to.
And what did he say he was up to?
He said he had dropped Maddie off at school. And
So she can remember. Y'all don't see how this is a little fucking strange? So she can't remember what her baby was wearing the night she came home from work. You know, the same night that Maddie had her birthday party. She cannot remember what her baby was wearing. But she can remember the conversation her and Stephen had.
and then afterwards went to a vape shop so he can buy vaping things.
Okay.
But that the store wasn't open, so he waited a long time for them to open. They never did. So he drove around, killed time, and then eventually made it back to my house at like 10:20. When later on, when I got home and he was home, we started discussing, or he started telling me that he was going to go back out to run a few more errands in a little bit down 182. And he gave me the name of a few stores that he might stop at. I'm like, okay. I asked him if he wanted to meet me at my house by 2:30 so that we can go pick up Maddie from school together. And he said, yeah, he'll be back by 2:30. I said, okay.
So was that the plan, to get her together, or was it ever discussed that he would get her alone?
The plan was for us to get her together.
Okay. All right. And so does he leave before you leave?
Actually, before this, while we were still discussing, while we were having the conversation in my room, he did mention.
I want y'all to understand that I believe that Jenn Soto is in her head thinking about everything she's saying before she says it. Even if it does seem like she's recollecting, she's thinking about everything she's saying before she says it. She fucks up. She says,
All right. And so does he leave before you leave?
Actually, before this, while we were still discussing, while we were having the conversation.
While we were having the conversation she was about to say on the phone. She was about to say on the phone. She was about to say on the phone. That's what she was about to say here. She said in my room.
In my room, he did mention at one point, while he was sitting there, that he had to reboot his phone, or that he had to update his phone. And what was it? He had to update his phone. So I told him, stop avoiding it, do it. Like, updates take a while, like, do it. And while he was updating his phone, he said, I don't know what I did, but I just factory reset my phone. And I said, that's weird. I didn't know that you could do that. He said, yeah, a button popped up and I pressed it and it just reset my entire phone. And I'm like, oh, that sucks.
So does he leave before you do to go do these errands he was telling you about?
Yes, he does.
Do you stay at home until it's time to go get Madeline?
Yes.
Do you hear anything from Stefan while he's out doing these errands?
No.
Okay. So 2:30 rolls around. Is Stefan back home yet?
No. At this point, I leave.
Do you try and call him or text him or communicate with him?
Yeah, I have been calling him, like, maybe starting 15 minutes before I was supposed to leave, just to see where he was.
Did he answer?
No. I leave at 2:30. Around 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him. And he said, I'm so sorry. I left my phone at home again on accident. I was driving down 192 and
So she can, okay, y'all, I'm trying to tell you something ain't right. She can remember these conversations that she had with Stephen, but she cannot remember what her baby had on when she came home from work. She also couldn't give an accurate recollection of her baby coming into her room to tell her goodbye for the morning. She can't seem to account for much with Maddie. She can account for these conversations that she had with Stephen.
And my tire exploded or shredded, and I had to pull over into one of the plazas and change my tire. He said he hurt his thumb doing that. And that, he was late and didn't make it back on time for that reason.
All right. When you leave to go pick Madeline up at 2:30, do you take her phone with you?
I do.
And how is it that you come to get her phone to go with you?
At some point in the morning, I was organizing and putting things away, and I walked into her bedroom and I saw her phone on her dresser. And I just assumed, she must have left it here while getting dressed and forgot it.
At some time in the morning, she was organizing and putting things away, and she came across Maddie's phone. So at what time in the morning would this have been? Because according to what Jenn is saying now, she did not get up again after Stephen woke her up, with the dog. She did not get up again until 9. She set her alarm for 9 because she had to get out of the house at 9:30. So, she got out of the house, she said, around 9:30, 9:45-ish. And she's saying she didn't get back to the house until 11:15, 11:30. The morning is over with by then. When the hell did she have time to organize or clean up anything that morning? When the hell did this happen? When the hell did Jenn Soto have time to pick up and organize anything if she was gone after she woke up? She woke up, she set her alarm at 9 so that she can get up and get ready to be out of the door by 9:30, 9:45-ish. Has her doctor's appointment, does not come back until 11:15, 11:30-ish. The fucking morning is over. So when did she find the phone? When did she do this organizing is my question.
Okay. Was it on?
Yes.
And sometimes when you bump or move phones, the notification screen comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to do that? And did you see if there's any incoming notifications that she had missed?
I hadn't seen any, no.
Okay. All right. So you go to school, and due to time constraints, like an NFL football game, we're going to kind of jump ahead a little bit. My understanding is that you want to be first in line,
mm-hmm.
and you have to get there early to do that, and I understand that.
Yeah.
She doesn't come out.
She doesn't know.
Did you call her phone?
I did.
Why did you do that?
Because I forgot I had it with me. I was like, where is she? Why isn't she out yet? So I start calling her phone, and then I start realizing I'm hearing vibrating, and then I look down, and I see her phone's with me. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
How am I going to get a hold of her? Because
this is also new.